everybody, my name's Eric and welcome to the Jailcast. This is my WWE Superstar Shakeup recap. This last week, WWE repositioned their roster, so to speak, on Raw and SmackDown. I kind of want to do a quick little recap of what happened there. I'll tell you right up the top here, I am very enthusiastic about this. I was initially not sure how they were going to do it because I don't know if they're actually going to do a full-blown WWE draft that they do every year around June or July. But I think that if they decide not to do that or push it back a few months, I think that would be perfectly okay. I think that after WrestleMania, it's always a good idea to shake up the roster a little bit to create some new storylines and some new feuds for the characters on screen, and I think they've done a good job of doing that. Just to run down the shake-up results here, going over to WWE SmackDown Live on Tuesday nights will be the current United States Champion Kevin Owens. However, it sounds like depending on whoever wins the match at Payback between Kevin Owens and Jericho, they will be on SmackDown Live. Now, I fully expect Kevin Owens to win that and keep the title to bring that to SmackDown, so I think that'll be a good move there. Also, we have Charlotte Flair, The New Day, Rusev, Lana, Sami Zayn, The Shining Stars, Sin Cara, Jinder Mahal, and Tamina all moving to SmackDown. I think that sets up SmackDown perfectly for some new feuds. I think that Kevin Owens is, obviously, as we saw on SmackDown this week, AJ Styles is now the #1 contender for the United States Championship. That will be a great feud. Those two guys can both wrestle great. They can both talk great. I think it'll be an amazing thing to watch going into the summer here. So I think that feud right there is going to be absolutely main event level. So I cannot wait to see that. That'll be amazing. Charlotte Flair is another big acquisition for SmackDown. She could have, feuds with Naomi for the SmackDown Women's title, Becky Lynch, or even Tamina, or they got Natalya is another one. They've got some good talent over there, and I think that will definitely shake up the women's division over there. And as for the New Day coming over, SmackDown has been in dire need of a tag team resurgence, so to speak. I mean, they've got great tag teams like the Usos and American Alpha. But other than that, some of the tag teams over there have been a little on the weak side. I was kind of hoping to see Enzo and Cass possibly come over here, or maybe even the Club. Maybe you could team them back up with AJ Styles or something, but that did not happen. But the New Day coming over with the Shining Stars as well, and maybe it almost looked like the Shining Stars might get repackaged a little bit here because they seemed a little more aggressive, and they weren't wearing the normal gear when they come out on SmackDown this week. So I kind of wonder if they're going to try and shake up the tag team division, and it desperately needs it. American Alpha has just kind of been buried since they came up from NXT, other than winning the tag titles for a short period there. But I'd love to see them do good things as well coming up. With Rusev and Lana coming over, that's only good things. I think Rusev will benefit greatly from moving to SmackDown because Rusev is in need of, he could be main event level again. He has not really done a whole lot lately, and of course he's out injured right now, the way I understand it. And Lana, it almost looked to me like they might be having an idea of splitting Lana up from Rusev because they gave her her own video package basically showing like she's coming to SmackDown. I kind of wonder if they're going to insert her into the women's division there. Now, I'm not sure how good she is as a wrestler right now. She was rather green before. But even so, Rusev and Lana on the same show, that can be nothing but good things. And if Lana doesn't do very well in the women's division part, she could always go back to being the valet for Rusev. Sami Zayn's another one that's moving to SmackDown. He's going to benefit greatly. He was just getting buried on the Raw card with all the talent over there and the long running time of the show itself. And I think Sami Zayn could even be, having matches against AJ Styles or Shinsuke Nakamura, things like that. And Sami is a very talented guy, and he'll probably be having plenty of matches with Kevin Owens, even though we've seen them wrestle a lot lately. He's that thorn in the side of Kevin Owens, and I think that's perfect for their program. Sin Cara, Jinder Mahal, and Tamina. These are kind of the mid card, just kind of jobber guys. Jinder Mahal, if he can quit injuring people, Finn Balor get well soon. He had a concussion this week due to Jinder Mahal. And Tamina, she again a good talent. I think she could benefit the women's division as well. I'm not sure how much that she's going to be a factor in the long run here. But I think that overall, I think SmackDown greatly improved, and I think both shows overall got very even, and I think that it will benefit both brands in the long run because it looked like SmackDown had some great talent and Raw was lacking a little bit, believe it or not. Even though they had a 3-hour runtime, SmackDown was the better show, and SmackDown still got some great guys. They just brought up Ty Dillinger and Shinsuke Nakamura, and those two guys are also going to be involved in these feuds going forward, and I think those guys being new to the roster, are going to bring forth all sorts of new feuds and things like that for us to watch, and it's going to be very good. And if you have not seen Shinsuke Nakamura wrestle yet, wait till you see that. It looks like they were going to set up a feud maybe with Dolph Ziggler this week on SmackDown, but I don't know if they're going to continue that, or Shinsuke Nakamura may end up... let's see, he may end up going for the Universal title, or maybe even against Randy Orton. Maybe they build him up a little bit here, but I think the plan right now is for Baron Corbin to go after Randy Orton's WWE title. I'm sorry, it wasn't the Universal title; it was a WWE Championship. So SmackDown's got a lot of potential going forward here. And as for Raw, the superstars moving to Raw was the Miz and Maurice, Intercontinental Champion Dean Ambrose, Bray Wyatt, Alexa Bliss, Mickie James, Apollo Crews, Kalisto, Heath Slater, and Rhino, and Kurt Hawkins. I also failed to mention that apparently the commentators switched spots. David Otunga is now on Raw, and Byron Saxton is on SmackDown. But as for the superstars here, Miz and Maurice, I think that's going to be great for Raw. They've obviously been doing a great job on SmackDown. The Miz's mic skills have been incredible, and the skits they've been doing about John Cena and Nikki have been entertaining as all get out. Some of the best stuff Miz has done in a long, long time here. Dean Ambrose, he was kind of a guy, just another guy on SmackDown. On Raw, I think he could have some good feuds, and the rumor I heard at one point is as long as Brock Lesnar is on hiatus for the time being, Dean Ambrose may actually feud with Braun Strowman after Strowman's done with Roman Reigns at Payback, more than likely. So that could be an interesting feud, because Dean Ambrose had that match with Brock Lesnar a few years ago at Mania, and if they do Dean Ambrose against Strowman, maybe that could be a better feud. I feel bad for Dean in that, because I'm sure he'll just get destroyed. But the Intercontinental Championship moving to the main show, and will probably be the main championship on the show when Brock Lesnar's not around for the time being. Bray Wyatt moving to Raw. That's another good move, in my opinion. I'm just not been that sold on the Randy Orton-Bray Wyatt feud, and I know they're going to have a House of Horrors match at Payback, which no one knows what it is. I'm not even sure WWE fully knows what it is yet. But Bray Wyatt, it looks, they teased the Finn Balor-Bray Wyatt feud, and if they go with that after Bray Wyatt most likely inevitably loses to Randy Orton at Payback, I think Wyatt and Balor could be an amazing feud, assuming Balor's concussion is not too serious. But if it is, it seems like they've got a few weeks to kind of, hopefully he'll get over that and he'll be okay to come back after Payback is over with. And that could be an amazing feud with the Eater of Worlds against the Demon King. I mean, that just sounds like a very cool feud. Not to mention the wrestling match will be great. They're both great performers. As far as the women's division goes, Alexa Bliss and Mickie James coming over to the Raw women's division. That's going to set up a whole new set of feuds between Tamina, Bayley, Sasha Banks. It's just going to be a lot of fun. I'm glad that Sasha Banks did not get traded to SmackDown, because they've clearly laid the groundwork for Sasha Banks to turn on Bayley, and I think that's coming sooner than later, so be on the lookout for that. As for the mid-carders, Apollo Crews, Kalisto, Heath Slater, and Rhino, and Kurt Hawkins coming over to Raw. I can see maybe Apollo Crews maybe getting in the Intercontinental Championship, scenario here before too much longer, because they've not really done much with him either, but he's a great talent. He's very impressive to watch, and I hope that they start to push him a little bit. As for Kalisto, I could totally see him going to 205 Live and become part of the Cruiserweight division. A part of me was still doesn't understand why the Cruiserweight division is not on SmackDown, because they film SmackDown or 205 Live after SmackDown. And I get why they do it. They say it's to build feuds on Raw, so you watch it on Tuesday. But Kalisto would be a perfect fit in there with Neville and Austin Aries and TJ Perkins and all those guys down there. As for Heath Slater and Rhino, it's just a tag team to come over to Raw, because SmackDown got the New Day. And I think the Raw tag team division is very stacked right now. It's got the Hardys, who just returned, and they're the tag team champions right now. And you got Sheamus and Cesaro, the Club, Enzo and Cass. They've got a lot of good, entertaining tag teams there. So there's some potential for some new rivalries as well. But mostly because the Hardys are there now, that's some new rivalries that you could do. I would still personally like to see Cesaro and Sheamus break up at some point, because I think Cesaro is somebody who would greatly benefit from going to SmackDown, I think, actually, even though they didn't do that here. Cesaro, to me, is world championship material at some point down the line here. He's very talented, and if you just let him be him, I think he can do very well as well. Same with Dean Ambrose. If you just let him be himself, a lot of guys you could say that for, even Roman Reigns, who gets scripted a lot of times, and people don't like him because they just don't let him be himself. But a lot of guys could benefit from that. But anyway, I digress on that point. But I think like Sheamus would be perfect to like team up with Jack Gallagher or Aiden English on SmackDown and become, this, pale tag team. I think it would be great, like the New Day or something. It would just be hilarious, I think. But maybe like the Proper Gentleman or something with Jack Gallagher. I think that would be perfect to do with Aiden English and Gallagher. But anyway, I don't know. But Kurt Hawkins, moving to Raw, I don't think it's just a guy to, be a jobber for the Raw guys for the most part. He'll come out there and try to act cool and talk tough, and then he'll just get beat in 2 minutes. So, but overall, I think the transition for the two brands is a good idea, and I think they've done a very good job of setting up feuds for the next 6 months or so, and maybe you do another draft going into the winter months and leading up to the Royal Rumble. Maybe you do that, and then you could set up some new feuds for WrestleMania. And maybe it's something that maybe they want to think about doing twice a year, every 6 months, do a shakeup to where we get new competition on both sides. So I'm looking forward to it, and I hope this summer, it looks like it's got a lot more promise than some other summers, because it seems like after WrestleMania sometimes there's not a whole lot to look forward to. But this year, I think the feuds are going to set up are going to be very entertaining. Well, that'll just about do it for me, everybody. Thank you for watching this video, and if you like what you saw here, please comment and like this video. And you can also subscribe to the Jailcast on YouTube by searching for Jailcast there. You can also find links in the description of this video for my Facebook and Twitter, or you can go to facebook.com/Jailcast, or you can find me on Twitter @EricJail. So until next time, thank you for watching. God bless.